Hi, shalom everyone. I'm going to continue this fantastic series, friends, on the daily page of the Daf Yomi. We are now on page number 14 of Masechet Zevachim, making fantastic progress, just getting the early morning coffee here in this just small bagel restaurant here in the city of Bet Shemesh. Over here, just so that everyone can see, have a glimpse within regards to it. And we are now talking all about the Har HaBayit, the Temple Mount, into today's page of the Gemara, making fantastic progress over here. We're trying to map out a bit within regards to the Temple Mount, respectively. There's different parts of the Bet HaMikdash, the temple courtyard area. They served different purposes. For example, there was a Kodshei Kodashim, sacrifices of the highest level of holiness, including, for example, sin offerings, were slaughtered on the side of the altar to the north, as we learn about, I believe, in Parashat Vayikra, in the first chapter. But what's unclear, however, is how the concept to the north is defined. Now, in the continuation of Masechet Zevachim, I think it was on another stage in time, we find a disagreement about this specific issue. One opinion is that it simply means anywhere to the north of the altar. Now, great Rabbi Elazar ben Rabbi Shimon, adds the entire area to the west of the altar, which is called the Be'en Ha'ulam Lo Mizbeach, between the hall, let's say, leading to the Bet HaMikdash and the altar, in the northern half of the courtyard. Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi includes the northern half of the courtyard on the east side of the altar, as well as up to the entrance to the courtyard. Now, let's say where we're trying to picture in our head a map of the Temple Mount itself, it illustrates, let's say, this specific map, the main areas of the Bet HaMikdash. It should be noticed that the standard diagrams of the Temple Mount are situated so that the top is west, which as can be seen, is where the temple itself would stand, in that specific place. When we stand, i.e., at the Kotel, the western wall, we faced east towards the temple, which stood, let's say, to the east of the wall. Now, in the middle, we find the altar, together with the ramp that led up to, on its left, to the south, and just above it, to the west, is the area of the Be'en Le'olam Lo Mizbeach. To the right is the northern side of the temple courtyard. Now, we learned in the previous page Daf, in Daf 13, Yud Gimel, that according to Rabbi Shimon, halacha, carrying the blood, let's say, is not an essential avodah, working in the Bet HaMikdash. The argument that he made was that the sacrifice cannot be brought without slaughtering the animal, collecting its blood, or sprinkling its blood. Nevertheless, if the sacrifice is slaughtered next to the altar, near the ulam, the hall itself, leading to the Bet HaMikdash temple, then carrying the blood may not be necessary. Why is this? Since the sprinkling can be done from there. Now, Reish Lakish is going to weigh in also and points out on today's page that Rabbi Shimon would admit that in the case of sin offerings that must have their blood sprinkled on the inner altar, the halacha itself is an essential working in the Bet HaMikdash. Since the temple cannot be slaughtered, since the animal cannot be slaughtered inside the Bet HaMikdash itself, the act of carrying the blood inside cannot be done in any other way. That's a very, very important factor to know also. On that note, wishing you all a fantastic day. We're obviously in Masechet Zevachim territory. We're just coming into Aseret Timei Teshuvah only in a few days' time. It's going to be we're going to come to Yom Kippur, the Yom Adin, the Day of Judgment. So we've got to work as hard as we can here now that we're in Aseret Timei Teshuvah. Make the most of every single moment. Bez Hashem, we're going to see just blessings for all of us and for all of Am Yisrael. Watch over the previous pages of Daf Yomi. This goes on many different platforms. And watch over all the other Daf Yomi videos we've already been recording for about 3.5 years already on this series. So wish you all a great day and a Shavua Tov Barach, and take care. Thanks for watching.